Hello, everybody. How's it going tonight? We are live. We are going to be talking about a few things tonight. There's no new OGL news, so I think we could use a much needed break from that topic. Although, if anybody has any thoughts on it, feel free to share. But I thought maybe we would spend tonight more focused on some third-party publisher products. There's some cool stuff out. Nord just did their new Kickstarter today, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely some things to talk about. And then I also have access to some Pathfinder 2 on what's it called? Foundry VTT. So if we want, we can maybe take a look at that as well. Hey, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Hello, Michael. How are you tonight? Let's run that WASI ship down. Sounds like a plan to me. Right? Well, we're fighting for freedom from WASI anyways. It's been a hectic couple of weeks. And honestly, I would say that you know, there's no new news, but that's kind of part of their plan too. They're like, all right, we put out the survey. Now we just have to wait until February, and by then everybody will have calmed down. So I would definitely say, don't calm down. Keep talking about it, keep posting about it. Keep showing your displeasure. Make sure you fill out the survey. Make sure you're canceling your D&D Beyond accounts if you can. You don't have to delete your accounts. Just stop subscribing, and maybe that'll get through to them eventually. Take no prisoners. It's funny because if you recall, like way back in the day, TSR got in trouble with the Tolkien estate for using Hobbit and Ents. That's why we have halflings and Trents, because they couldn't use those words. And how the tables have turned. I was actually reading that Slaying the Dragon book, and they talk about how they could have made a Lord of the Rings or Middle Earth based RPG game back in the day. Like TSR was presented the opportunity to make it, but they wanted to do everything else. They wanted to make calendars and accessories, and most importantly, they wanted to publish new books set in Middle Earth. Like they wanted, because at the time they were super successful with like Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms books, and they were putting out a bunch of really good books, and it was like one of their most profitable divisions was their novels. So they wanted to write new Middle Earth books, and the people that had the rights to the game did not have the rights to the books. So anything like that had to go through the Tolkien estate. And one of the guys from TSR went out to meet with Tolkien's son, who ran the estate at the time, and was promptly just shut down. And probably for the better, honestly, because I feel like nobody should be running Tolkien except Tolkien. So, but yeah, they could have made the RPG game back in the like AD&D second edition days, but they chose not to. Like they could have still done the game, and they were like, the owner at the time, it was like, not worth it. So they missed out. Yeah, back when TSR was senior, right now Watsy's going to be like, take up the torch, take up the torch. But we'll see what happens. It's still a possibility that this all works out for the best, but I think a lot of people are just ready to move on, which is really too bad. And I wonder if it's going to be like, if they kind of account for this. Like I was talking to my brother about this, and he's not a D&D guy or anything, but he is, he works at like an executive level for a company, and he's like, they knew this was going to happen. They planned for certain loss. They're like, we're going to lose this amount, but over the course of this much time, we'll bring in new people and we'll make it all back and then some. So they figure that there's going to be this huge chunk of the population that's going to be like, screw you guys, we're out. But if you guys get on like some of the other social media sites or even the D&D Beyond forums and stuff like that, there's plenty of people who just like, I don't get the big deal, like whatever, like let them make their money, who cares, like, oh, quit crying because you have to pay them to use their IP, and I'm like, they just don't get the situation. And so those people are just going to stay loyal to WotC and keep buying their crap. And I'm like, I think those people who buy nothing but official content have no idea what they're actually missing out on. They think that just because WotC didn't make it, it can't possibly be good. Anything third party is just not going to be good. And I don't think they realize what they're missing out on. Oh, Dark Sun, man. I was a Dragonlance guy, but my best friend was a Dark Sun guy. And I'll tell you, I would love to get my hands back on some Dark Sun. I can't remember if I do have one Dark Sun box set. Hold on. There we go. I got some Dark Sun right here. So, yeah, I do have a little bit of Dark Sun. Dark Sun is a great setting, man. I don't think Dark Sun would survive modern times. Like, it's just too out there. I don't think it could survive the modern culture. But, man, what a great setting. It is just D&D meets Mad Max kind of setting. I love it. But I don't know. I've been really happy with AD&D or 3 Dark Sun. AD&D second edition. This is second edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That's my era is second edition. I actually have all the first edition books, but I really started playing the second edition era, and I went back and played some first edition. But yeah, Dragonlance was great back in the day. Like, I've got a bunch of Dragonlance stuff on my shelves, like a ton of Dragonlance. I never really did a lot of Spelljammer. I did a very little Spelljammer back in the day. I did some Dark Sun. I did a ton of Dragonlance. A little bit of Greyhawk, not a lot. I never did Forgotten Realms back in the day, believe it or not. Never once touched it. We played a lot, and we honestly homebrewed more than anything back in the day. Like, I never really understood, like, aside from Dragonlance as a setting, like, I never ran a pre-made module. Even in Dragonlance, we homebrewed adventures. We never ran modules back then. It was crazy. It's full dark and grim resource management. Oh yeah, no, it's a brutal world. It's a resource management. Mad Max meets D&D is the best way I can describe Dark Sun. It was so good. It was so good. The first Dark Sun book, The Verdant Passage, such a good fantasy novel. I might actually have that on my shelf. Let me see. No, I don't know if I have any of the Dark Sun novels. I've got a bunch of Forgotten Realms, a couple Spelljammers. I thought I had one Dark Sun book, but I don't see it. And I have a ton of Dragonlance novels. I hate that you got rid of all your old stuff. Oh man, I handed all my old stuff to a friend to watch for me when I went to college, and then when I hit him up to get it back, it turned out that him and his girlfriend got in a fight, and she burned all his D&D stuff, which was actually all of my D&D stuff. So yeah, not good. Also, his girlfriend was my ex-girlfriend, so double whammy. Mad Max is a walk in the park when compared to Dark Sun. The story of how Dark Sun came to be is very interesting and fun to read. If you haven't read it yet, you really should read that Slaying the Dragon book. It's such a great story of like the beginnings of TSR and all the origins of D&D and what happened through the years that led to Wizards of the Coast buying it out and all of that stuff. It is such a good read, and yeah, you'll find out about a lot of that stuff. So fantastic. What's really funny is Wolfgang Barr, the owner of Cobalt Press, he was like an editor for Dragon Magazine. He had been doing some content at TSR, and they're like, "Hey, we have this new setting called Alquid Inn. You want to write for it?" So he developed a lot of the Alquid Inn setting back in the day. I like that setting. That was another fun one. I really want to get more into that kind of Eastern settings in Midgard. Like, they were supposed to create. They had a book for the East. Like, basically like all those Eastern would be equivalent to like, the Middle East and Asia in our world. They had a setting book for that expanded Midgard to the East, and it never came out there. Like right around that time, COVID happened, and there was a lot of like hate crime against the Asian community, and it just wasn't a good time to be doing it, and it got put on indefinite hold. I don't know if we'll ever see that book at this point, which is too bad because I would love to see that part of Midgard, and I really want to see like the other side. Like, I want to see like what the equivalent of the Americas looks like in Midgard, if there is one, because Midgard's a flat world, it's not a globe, so it's a little different, but still, I kind of want to see. Forgotten Realms had a box set. Yeah. Forgotten Realms had a box set. Do I have? I have a few box sets. I've got both of the Undermountain box sets, and I've got the Menzo Baronzon box set. I don't have the core Forgotten Realms one, but I do have like the Forgotten Realms Atlas and the Dragonlance Atlas and stuff like that. Some of that old stuff, man, like I buy that old stuff just so because it comes in handy in your modern games. Like there's so much good content in that old stuff that you can just plug in and use. It's great. I mean, it's so much good stuff. So much good stuff. Yeah, it was like that was like a Middle Eastern setting, or not Arabian Nights kind of deal. It was cool. Kind of think Aladdin, like kind of that kind of setting. All D&D world settings came to life in an organic way. Forgotten Realms was originally a joke of the letters section of Dragon Magazine. Eberron was homebrewed setting. Yeah, I mean, well, Forgotten Realms was a homebrewed setting. That was a guy's home setting, and he started publishing little things about it in Dragon Magazine, like sending his stuff in, and eventually they just bought it from him. Nord is awesome. Nord just launched a Kickstarter today. It's I was actually on their live stream earlier today, and we got to play with it a little bit. And they have a free sample of it on the Kickstarter. Here, let me pull it up. I can pull it up for us. Let's see here. Oops. What was it called? Oracle. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I don't have it shared. Hold on. Here. There you go. So yeah, this is their current Kickstarter. It is already at 73,000. Today was the first day. They do have like a download you can get of it right here, but it's been basically just a bunch of cards, and you just kind of like roll some dice on the different decks and come up with like these. They're not for your player characters. They're more for just like NPCs and people that your characters might run into. But it was fun because we were like rolling them up today and coming up with stories around them, and we were making some really interesting characters and getting some cool story hooks out of it. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I love tools like this because they're system agnostic. They're quick and easy to use. They give you something unique and different that maybe you wouldn't have thought of on your own, and just starts inspiring thoughts. So this one's super cool. Definitely recommend it. And they're like tarot size cards, which I love. I love the bigger cards. So, yeah, that's Nord's latest Kickstarter. Nord's got so much good stuff, though. Nord's Nord stuff is like it's all tools. I mean, they got a couple monster books, and they do have some adventures, but even their adventures are like set for different levels. Like there'll be like 3 different options for like monsters depending on what your group level is, rather than saying this is a level adventure for level 3 players. It's like this is adventure for level 3 players, or level 7 players, or level 12 players. Like, just, depends. And you can just plug and play different stuff in there. So I like how they do that. Let's see here. Yeah, the Kickstarter Oracle. D&D will be free. I agree, man. D&D will be free. That is ours. There's nothing really wrong with Forgotten Realms. I would say one of my, I guess if I had an issue with Forgotten Realms, it's that it feels very disjointed. There's so much. It's huge, which is fine, but it's not always consistent. It's hard to follow the lore. It's just it's been definitely used a lot. I think part of the problem, honestly, is that it was been the main setting for most of 5e, and it's like, hey, like here's a Dragonlance book, here's an Eberron book, but like here's 30 Forgotten Realms books. I think that's kind of where some of the hate's coming from at this point. People are just tired of it. What's the Kobold Press flag? That flag behind me is just my pirate flag. I hung it for Kobold Press though. I think Mike says it good here, Nick. I don't hate it. I'm just bored of it. That's fair. I'll tell you what. If you gotta look more into Kobold Press's stuff. Like their goblins alone have so much depth. Like there's like the sand goblins of the west. There's forest goblins. There's so much different. There's a lot more variety in things like goblins and kobolds and all sorts of those other races and creatures. I think they just do an overall better job of fleshing that kind of thing out in Midgard. I'm a big fan. You want to see Dreaded Accursed? Hold on. There's Dreaded Accursed. So this is from Nord, full on book of like just like undead and stuff like that. So much cool stuff in here. A lot of flavor in here. I'm a fan. I did a whole video on this book though. You can definitely take a look at it. But yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff in here. Let me see here. This one I like. It's like a mummy kind of king. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a fairly decent sized book too. What I like from Nord though is like Spectacular Settlements has got to be one of the best books I think I own. Yeah, Rise of the Drow is huge. You can see it behind me, right there. I got a few copies of it. Got the Lost Omens book, like you said, free with that code. You're talking about? Are you talking? The Pathfinder 2 one? Is that the one you're talking about? The one that came free when you bought from Pathfinder from Paizo that day on the sale? Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I like that. This is probably one of my favorite books right here. So this one, it's huge, but it's like an engine for creating settlements. So whether you want a small town or city, it's going to take you through a bunch of steps and tables, and you roll. So if I wanted, let's see here, I'm going to do, I need to get a second camera that can like point down. That's what I need to do. I'm going to set that up at some point. All right, so if I wanted to do, let's say, a city. So you have trading post, village, town, city, capital, fortress. So if I just wanted to do, let's say, a town. So a town is a medium-sized settlement where the commercialism of trading posts meets the community living aspect of villages. So page 91. Um, and then, it gives me a little bit of an overview and some steps. And what I start doing is I start rolling on these tables. Let's see if we can see them here. So like I would roll up an origin of the town. I would roll up what the town's priority is. Is it military? Is it government? Is it economic, religious? Any specialties they might have, education, connections, industry, farming. How old is it? And then some of these tables will lead to other tables or give you modifiers on certain tables. And what they have for each of these is essentially a character sheet for the town. So depending on it, this is the one for the capital, but you start filling it out and it says like, to reference, which tables and things like that. So you just start filling out this town that has its own character sheet kind of deal. And you end up with like really cool, locations. And it's not just at the town. It's like, you'll find out about some of the people. You'll find out about like, you'll start getting story hooks and things like that. Like one of the coolest parts about it is you'll get these conflicts. Like this is a wealthy town, yet the buildings are in disrepair. Why is that? And then, you may roll something that turns out that maybe there's a corrupt politician. And you start getting these cool story hooks, and you end up not only with a full settlement, but with, information for a campaign, story hooks for your players when they go there. And like I use this, like right now, since I'm playing a Midgard campaign, obviously a lot of these places already exist, but there's not always maps or information about them in the book because Midgard's so huge. So if I come to a settlement like that, I roll it up, and I already know certain aspects of it. So if there's things like I know it's in a forest or I know it's a coastal town, I could skip those parts skip those tables and just say like choose that. But the rest of it I roll up, and I end up with these really fleshed out, rich locations. I don't need to. I have another camera. I just need to hook it up and get a stand for it. And I'm not. I'm not gonna give them more money. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna use the books I already have. Interesting. Reminds me of the army character sheet thing in Ultimate Campaign, but for towns and way more detail. Oh, there's so much detail in that book. They also have one that's called Dangerous Destinations, which instead of settlements is like for crazy places you want to send your party, like places that heroes can go and fight monsters. So super, super cool. Forgotten Realms has an area ruled by an ancient dragon. Yeah. So does, if you look at Midgard's like, got dragons everywhere. And then I have an affiliate link because I'm an affiliate of Nord, so I actually have a link you can use. Any of my Nord videos will have my affiliate link. So if you do buy from Nord, try to use that. That helps support the channel. But I'm a big fan of Nord stuff, man. I love their stuff. Nord. Here, I'll show you. Two more of my favorite books from Nord. One is Treacherous Traps, which is essentially another kind of engine to build traps, where it takes you through it and gives you a bunch of examples of different traps, but then you can like essentially roll up traps and grab from different aspects of different traps and put them together. But it really helps you to create new and unique traps, and not just simple traps, but complex traps too. They have a whole section on that. They have a section here on designing traps. They have a section on puzzles. They have a section on riddles. So there's trap-centric dungeons. They have, random trap generator, designing traps, perplexing puzzles, subtle secrets, ridiculous riddles. And then they have a whole bunch of traps for different levels. Level 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, 13 through 16, 17 through 20. They'll tell you things like, is this a mechanical trap, a hybrid trap, a magical trap, all sorts of stuff. Like here's one. Let's see here. Let's just grab one. Rogue's Bane Lesser. Mechanical trap, level 5 to 8, moderate. A poorly disguised tripwire is easily detected, but it hides the real trap that is set to go off if the decoy is tampered with. The trigger is a false trigger. Disarming or attempting to disarm the false trigger sets off the real trap. The effect is randomly select a mechanical trap of the same or lower lethality and use its effect. Countermeasures: a successful DC-12 Wisdom Perception check reveals the false trigger. A successful DC-12 Intelligence Investigation check reveals its true nature. A successful DC-12 Dexterity check using Thieves' Tools disables the real trap. So it takes you through just like that. Like, here's the trigger, the effect, countermeasures for every trap. And then, like, the complex ones get way, 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 way more in depth. Then this one I love. I'm using this one in my current game. So this takes crafting to kind of the next level, where you have, like, kind of, they call them associations, but essentially guilds. And you, depending on your level of experience as a crafter, you get a crafting book with, like, a recipe book with basic recipes. And kind of like in, like, an MMO, like World of Warcraft or something, you have to craft so much stuff before you can go to the next, like, from, you know, a novice to an apprentice. And then once you get to a certain level, then you have to go, be given, like, a quest to go on that you have to complete. So it gives you, like, a whole leveling aspect to your crafting, which is a lot of fun. And then they also have a book that Kickstarter ready, but you can pre-order now for gathering. So it goes into, like, gathering materials for, like, herbalism and mining and stuff like that. So tons and tons of fun. I love these books. Let's see here. Yeah, I have the Game Master's book. Do I have the random encounter one? I know I have the NPC one. I might have the random encounter one. They're okay. I've had better books than those, but they're not bad. Yep, Kobold Press Kickstarter for Deep Magic 2. That I am backed. I also did a video on that last week. That's going to be a fun one, man. I backed it for the double limited edition. That was a really good one. Jetpack 7 has some, Jetpack does have some cool stuff. And then Loresmith is really cool too. I'm waiting on my Loresmith books to arrive. Unfortunately, it sounds like they're going to be taking a break from the industry for a while. That kind of made me sad. Because I do like their stuff a lot. In case any of you are wondering, Chris here, Chris Haskins, he's the CEO of Nord. So I didn't realize he was in here. We're talking about his books. We were just looking at your Kickstarter too a little while ago, Chris. I was telling him about us rolling up our stuff today. One of the things we rolled up, the one I liked the best, I know it wasn't everybody's favorite, mine that I got to roll up was an herbalist named, or what we say, a herbalist named Herbert, and he was addicted to mushrooms. So that was fun. Yeah, we did. We were talking about this guy too a little while ago too. We're talking about all your stuff, and we had we even had Dreaded a Cursed out for a little bit. These books are heavy. Herbert the Herbalist. Huh. So yeah, good stuff. Chris, if you want to hop on and chat with us, I'll send you a Zoom link. You can always hop on. Yes, buy all the Nord stuff. Yeah, no, your books, like I said, one thing I like about Nord is like, don't get me wrong, like, I love my Kobold Press stuff, obviously. I talk about it all the time. But what I like about Nord is that I feel like they're making real tools as opposed to another adventure or a campaign setting or something that, like, there's a lot of companies that do that and do that very, very well. But Nord does these great tools that you can use it with those other company's products with any system, with any campaign setting, with any adventure. You can just crank them up with the Nord stuff. They're the best supplements. No worries, Chris. Anytime you want, man. You just let me know. We already had one live stream today. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan. And then obviously with Black Flag coming out, I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. I was actually just before this live, I was actually on a phone with one of my friends who he does a bunch of different types of products. He does a lot of like accessories, things like that. And he was actually working on a small supplement book. And he's going to just rewrite part of it to be more system agnostic. But, it sucks how it's just trickling out and affecting so many people. It's crazy right now. Yeah, system agnostic stuff is great. And here's K-Wood Publishing watching right now too. So I have them on my thing here, but let's see, which one should we look at? Oh, here, you know what? I'll show them Phaeland. I'll show them. Oops, I'll show them Phaeland since your new Phaeland book is coming out. So this is their first Monsters of the Phaeland, and I love these because I love the art. It's just like the art in these is so much fun. But they're really just neat stat blocks, and you'll notice things like rather than like a name of a creature, a lot of times they'll have more of like, I don't know, like a theme. Like here's the Hatter. But it feels like they have more like a theme as opposed to a specific name. And Travis Hansen's art is always just fantastic. So these are definitely some of my favorites, and I plug these in everywhere just because they're fun. I think my favorite, honestly, is still the Cities book. The Cities book is so cool because it was like, it was all about kind of duality, and there was like a bad guy and a balancing good guy. It was kind of neat. Yeah, Chris, if you haven't checked out any of the K-Wood stuff, they're definitely worth a look. They are a lot of fun to play with. This is the City book, and it's all sins and virtues. So you'll have like, hold on. Actually, the best way to do it is the big ones, right? You've got like right in the beginning, like we go to the Castle District, and you've got pride. Like it's like the 7 deadly sins. You got pride, and then you've got humility as a creature, like a stat block for the sins and virtues. So this one's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite. Yeah, the City book, I don't know. This is the first one I got from you guys, and it's definitely a favorite of mine. It's one I'm using right now because my players are in a city, so I've got some plans for some stuff in there. And then I like the Underworld one a lot because I do a lot with AAW games, so a lot of Underdark themed stuff. So I really like the Underworld book because I plan on using some stuff from there. I wanted to talk about The Last of Us, but I won't because I don't want to spoil for people. But man, Chris, you better go watch The Last of Us like this week. Otherwise it's gonna become fair game, and I'm just gonna tell you all about it. If you guys haven't seen The Last of Us, it's like a new zombie apocalypse type flick, but with mushrooms. It's not a movie, it's a show, but it's really good. Like really, really good. Yes, definitely watch it tonight. There's only 2 episodes out so far, but super good. I know it's based on a video game. I have not played the video game, but oh man, the what do you call it? The prosthetics, like the makeup, all that. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. I want to do like an Underdark adventure with mind flayers like Illithid that are like affected by something like that. So like Illithid mushroom zombies. That's what I want. What show? The Last of Us on HBO. Yeah, it's so good, so good. I love it. I was getting so much inspiration from watching it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing this. This is happening. Potential spam is calling me. I hate that guy. He calls me all the time. Um, then I've been poking around a bit with Pathfinder 2. I haven't had a ton of time, but I'm trying to. Um, the games are see. I haven't played the games. I'll have to check them out. I got a whole list of other games. Like last time we did a stream, people were giving me games like game systems I got to try here. I have Iron Sword, Powered by the Apocalypse, Blades in the Dark is what I really want to check out, and then Fallout New Las Vegas. I wouldn't mind playing some Apocalypse games. Like I'm all. It's funny because when I play games, I'm generally more about fantasy setting, but like when I watch movies and stuff, I love post-apocalyptic. So I think it'd be fun to play some kind of like zombie post-apocalyptic tabletop RPG. I think I would enjoy that. Yeah, dude, potential spam calls me all the time. Calls me all the time. I got a coworker who freaking messes with those guys. Like we'll be on Zoom and he leaves his Zoom open and he answers the phone and starts talking about his car warranty, and it's hilarious every time. Huh. So what else, guys? What you guys want to see what Pathfinder 2 looks like in Foundry? I can pull that up. I have that ready to go if anybody wants to see it. Or if you guys have questions about any more books, we can definitely look at some more books. I've got shelves of them. Shelves and shelves. Some of them I haven't even looked at yet. Like I've gotten them and I haven't got to look at them. But yeah, we can look at this. Here's this is the starter box. So this is my buddy let me log into his. So this is the beginner box for Pathfinder 2. So when we open it up, I love how they did it. Like, so we've got character creation here. Pull this up and it walks you right through your character creation process. Step by step. Like they did a really good job laying this out. Like I'm really impressed. I need to do some of this. Like it looks so good. I like how they did this white background. I'm like, how did they do that? I need to look for my stuff, and then how they just did everything in these boxes. Like how did they do these two side by side boxes? Like I need to learn. I need to learn how they did it. Let's look at the code. Huh. Interesting. For those of you who know HTML and CSS, I gotta actually pull up the CSS code. But yeah, it looks so good. It looks really, really good. And then get into like the actual adventure. They link everything. They have external links to like Pathfinder Society and stuff like that. Yeah, you should look into Foundry. Yeah, I know, man. I just think Foundry is just a smoother platform and just more versatile, personally. You use cameras on the DM and table. So like you guys play remote and you just put cameras on everybody. I am geeking out on code. I like code. Leave me alone. It's the simple things. Code is good. I actually backed Last Airbender. I have it, and I definitely want to play it. I got a buddy who's a huge Airbender fan. I'm trying to get him to actually run it for me. Powered by the Apocalypse is a TTRPG game system. Not all are post-apocalypse. Yeah, no, I understand that. But I'm thinking like it would be fun to do. I'm sure there's got to be a good like a Walking Dead style TTRPG out there that I can play. Yeah, I could do that. It seems like a lot of work. Like, one thing I do is when I have my when I play in person, I still have Foundry up. I have a table or a TV on the table with the maps, And then my players, we were going to use D&D Beyond, but after recent events, I'm going back to not using that. So they'll all have their character sheets, like right there in front of them on their computer. Their Foundry character sheets. We'll still roll physical dice and use minis and everything when we're in person, but we only play in person maybe one out of every 4 or 5 times. So when we, the other weeks, we just play on Foundry online. So it's really nice to be able to bounce back and forth easily. I want to try Foundry soon. Not sure what to start with. I got so much stuff in Roll20. I have all the Pathfinder books, though, and I've got VTT tokens for Rise of the Drow and the PDF of it. So Rise of the Drow is available in Foundry. I'm the one who made it. So you can get it. Give me a second here. I can show that. Although, honestly, I have not updated it to version 10 of Foundry yet. So it's once I'm finished with their current project of Roltmork, I will do an update to Rise of the Drow to Foundry V10. I can show you a preview of what it's going to look like because I started working on it. Let me pull up my Foundry instance. Here we go. And pull up Rise of the Drow. So here's Rise of the Drow. So, I still have it kind of broken up. I've done the first couple of chapters. So you'll see here, like, now here's chapter 1, updated to version 10. And you can see I've started doing more CSS stylizing to use the fonts and everything that you would see in the PDF or in the physical book. So that's not in the older version quite like that. So like if I go into book 2 here, I haven't done it there yet. So these are all individual, journal entries. So this is how the old one was set up. So I'm going to be doing a full update to version 10. So all the chapters will be combined and look like this at some point. And then you can see here we've got the maps. Let's look at a good one. What's a good one? We can just look at the cathedral. So there's your cathedral scene. And I even have like the roaring fire, if you can hear it. I don't know if I have the sound turned on for you guys or not, but you can hear the fire roaring there. All the lighting is done. I even have macros here for certain later levels. So if we get into chapter 6, which is kind of towards the end, there's this room here where when they enter the room, there's a ritual going on, and this the smoke and haze in the room turns from purple to red, and with a click of a macro, I have it set to do that. And then in the 5th level, there's like 4 different views of the map that you can have. So I created this macro here. So depending on what you want to see, you can see it. But as the dungeon master, you see, you can still see everything. Like you can see it faded out. I have it as like a background image. So you can just switch between the different views. Rise of the Drow is 5e and Pathfinder 1. It is not Pathfinder 2 yet. I don't know if they have plans to. They did just announce their plans for their first Pathfinder 2 product, though, which will be a mini dungeon book for Pathfinder 2. So it is definitely feasible that we could see Rise of the Drow in Pathfinder 2 at some point. Can you use Foundry on your phone? Not really. Not really. You might be able to get away with it on a tablet. They really need to improve on some of their touchscreen capabilities. You're much better off with a traditional computer or laptop, though, to be honest. It would be great if they worked on that, though. I know they have plans to make it better on mobile. Is Ironsworn powered by the Apocalypse? I didn't realize that. That is another system I wanted to check out. Yeah, I don't know much about it. No, they don't. Only the DM buys it. It's a single license. It's $50. You own it. You host it yourself, though. So it's not like Roll20 where you go online. You just If you're hosting on your home computer, you'll have to like set up your router to port forward, and then you'll give your players like your public IP address colon whatever port number it is, and they can log in. Or there's services like Foundry server is the one that I use. And actually, I think code DM Toolbox 2022 might get you a discount in your first month. There's also the Forge, which is another one, a little maybe more user friendly, but I don't like that's how their system is personally. It's more contained, it's kind of walled in, but it is easy to use and stuff. And then there's another one called like Molten or something like that. It's like a European based one. So yeah, you can pay for hosting with one of those services, like whatever, $5 a month or whatever you want. But you could also, if you got like free web hosting through your ISP, you could do it through that. You can do it through like Amazon, or I have DigitalOcean that I have a couple of development servers on that I use for like when I'm developing products for my customers. So yeah, you can do it all sorts of ways. And plus, it can use what's it called? What is it? I can't remember what the cloud thing is. Where you can basically get like a cloud storage, AWS or something like that, where you can get cloud storage and store a lot of your bigger files and stuff like that on cloud. That way, it loads faster for your players. Yes, AAW Games makes Rise of the Drow. That is correct. Yeah, like I said, one thing you can do. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Let me switch here. Return to setup. I'll show you like one of my games looks like here. Well, you know what? I'll go into my old Tome of Annihilation game. Wait, no, not. Never mind. I don't want to do that. Where's my? Here we go. I'll pull up my current Midgard game, and I'll show you how I'm going to be doing it. This is not my live one. This is my local one. Then I have my live one that's on a Foundry server. But let me see here. Let me pull up a character sheet. Oh, you know what? I don't have it on here. Let me log into the other one. But yeah, I'll show you how this kind of looks. All right, so let's get Midgard. I call them the Midgard Misfits. All right. So here's what a normal character sheet looks like, player character sheet. But what I end up doing is so I have this D&D Beyond character sheet module that I will enable, and it will change the way the character sheets look, so it looks more like a D&D Beyond style sheet. Did I not enable it? Hold on. Sheet. Here we go. So I can change it now to a D&D Beyond style sheet, and now it looks like this. So now it just feels a little bit more like what the D&D Beyond sheets would look like, and it's a little easier for the players to navigate. So we can go into our actions here, and we have, if I want to filter just the bonus actions, regular actions, reactions, you can filter those. I can go into the spell, but he doesn't have spells. But here's his features and stuff like that. So his inventory. You can see here his proficiencies and stuff like that. Vulnerabilities, resistances, things like that. Effects tab for any kind of passive effects or something like that. So if I made him immune to, cold damage, it would show up here. You run a Midgard game on Foundry. Yeah, well, this is my Midgard game. In fact, what you're looking at right here is Dib's Wagon of Doom, is the scenario right here. I had this, we played session 1, at my house, so I had the TV down. I physically put the minis on. I even have a Wagon of Doom on my shelf. Right there is the Wagon of Doom. But then what I've been doing is like I'm starting to put the books in. So I got like, for now I just put the languages in for the Midgard World book, but I'm slowly converting stuff. And then I've got here, like before the Zobek Clockwork City came out, I was working on Zobek Gazetteer and Streets of Zobek. I was converting them in. So if I pull up, let's see here. So like here's the Zobek Gazetteer, and then I was actually putting stuff in. So I was just creating all this in Foundry. So just the stuff that was relevant to my game is what I was starting with. And then like I have for Streets of Zobek, I've got, I was working on Everyone Lies. So I have that whole thing in here. That's what we're about to start playing, is Everyone Lies. The Cold Press Frog God Games, all Humble Bundle that's going on now is awesome. Got all the Southlands PDFs plus a bunch of Frog God Game stuff with Old School Essentials core books. Yeah, no, that was a great Humble Bundle. So much good stuff in there. If you go on Cold Press's site too, they've got free character sheets for like Southlands. I think for generic Midgard, and then for Ebon Tides. They've got free themed character sheets you can download that are super super cool. But yeah, I actually go through the work of creating my CSS files, and I put everything in like super nice for my game, so that like when they meet this guy, I can click on here and show it to them. I've got like everything linked across, so when they want to go to the Silk Scabbard, I click on this, it pulls up the Silk Scabbard, and I can start going through that. I've got the maps and everything. Then like I have up here, like when we want to go to the Silk Scabbard, here's the ground floor of the Silk Scabbard, and then here's the first floor of the Silk Scabbard. I've actually made these maps in Dungeon Alchemist or Dungeon Alchemy. I've got the Botanical Rooftop. Made this one too. I got the Midgard World map here. Oh, that's a big file. Sometimes it doesn't like to load. I kind of I combined a huge Midgard file. The other thing though that I have is it enabled right now? I wonder if I have it enabled. No, I don't think I have it enabled. Let me go back to this one. I might not have it here either. There's a module that lets you pull up websites and stuff like that. Let's see here. Manage modules. What's it called? Inline Web Viewer. There it is. So inline web viewer, I can set this up to pull up like the Midgard world map, which is super super handy. So I can go in here, and then I have it set up already. So I click on this, and it will pull up the Midgard world map website. So now I can just come in here and show my players this. And we want to go to Zobek, no problem. Zobek map. This is all right inside of Foundry. Yeah, I would definitely recommend hard copies of the Midgard World book. Watch the video I did last Tuesday on all the Midgard stuff. It's super cool. There's so many good books. So many good books. So yeah, this is how I do my games. Is I do them all in here, and then this is a great little module called Combat Carousel. So rather than the normal initiative tracker, I've got this one. I can drag this around, but it shows their icons, and then as we go through combat, it highlights them. It'll jump to their token. You can see I have their tokens down here, but it jumps to their appropriate token, gets selected. You know, I can reroll initiative here if I want. I could double click it and pull up their character sheets. It's super nice. So you like, I'll even have this out on the table when we're playing at home. This is how I track initiative during my normal games. So yeah, I like it a lot. You can see there's the war wagon, the wagon of doom. If the D&D and Magic the Gathering community could just boycott Wizard of the Coast for 6 months, we might be able to get them to come to the table. You know, we'll see what happens, man. Like at this point, I'm not even like, we'll very happily move on to Black Flag. Yeah, that's pulling right from the website. It's a web viewer. So when you set it up, you can set up to go to different websites. So you go into here. Let me go in here. I'll go to configure. Wait, not that one. Sorry. Configure settings, and then I've got the pop out. Where is it? Inline web viewer, and then I can set them up here. So I'll go to global web viewers right here. So you just pop in a name, you call it what you want, you put in the URL, pick an icon, hit save, and it'll show up there. That's how I got this one. So that's all it is. And then you'll have different icons right here for different websites you want to go to. Super, super easy. Unlikely heroes, yep. Yeah. I mean, there's so much cool stuff. Like, I don't even have it all set up yet for this game because we're just kind of getting started. But I've got like spell animations, like the stuff that Wizards of the Coast doesn't want. I've got on here. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. Let's see if I can pull up my old game. I'll show you. Let's see here. Let's pull this up. I'll have to migrate. Let me take a little bit. That's my Tome Annihilation game. Was that one I actually have set up for stuff, so it might work. While it's doing that, yeah, I know what you mean. I'm kind of done with Wizards of the Coast too. It's like at this point, I'm kind of over it, but at the same time, from an industry point of view, it's like there's so much reliance on the OGL. It's like we can't just be over it. Like even if we don't want to play D&D anymore, so much stuff relies on OGL. I'm not even going to see the movie. Yeah, I know. Like I'll wait for the movie to come out on Netflix or something. Why is that not working? Oh no. Uh-oh. I don't remember my password for this. Oh crap. I can't log into that game. I'll have to change the password. I don't know what the password is for it. That sucks. So you can do spell animations and stuff though. Let's see here. You know what? Here, I can show you on this one. This one I think is good. This is actually a Kobold Press adventure called Last Gasp. I ran this at Gen Con. Oh, come on. That one doesn't want to work either. What was my password? I think it just worked. Okay. I'm in. All right, so this one, let's see here. All right. So if I go into their spell book, I'll just do like a guiding bolt. Let's see if it works. I think I have it set up. let's set up his vision so I can see. Token vision, and we'll give him dark vision of 60 feet. There we go. Okay, now I can see. All right. So now, if I do guiding bolt, maybe I don't have it set up. Damn it. It's not as cool when I don't have it set up. Oh, here we go. I think I can do this. No, I don't have it set up. Either that or I don't have the module enabled. There's all these different spell effects you can do. Let me see. Maybe I don't have it enabled. Automated. Oh, there. That's why. Automated animations. And then I need JB2A. There we go. We need those both enabled. So what you can do with this, yeah. All right. So let's activate that. Okay, let's try this one more time. Let's go to the spell book. I'm assuming that I have these set up to do this, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess not. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Attack, normal. Nope. Damn it. So anyways, what I was trying to get across was that you can set these up to basically have animations that will like roll across the screen. Oh, I know why. I forgot. You have to target them. So if I target him, now I should be able to do it. It's been a while. All right, let's try this again. Cast spell. And then attack, normal. There it goes. So there you go. There's the animation. So you can do stuff like that, which is kind of cool. And you know that's in black and white since he can't see. Let's see if this one we can see a better effect. So let's do an Eldritch Blast. We'll target, and then we'll do an Eldritch Blast. Let's see if we can see it. There you go. So Wizards Code says we just made a video game, apparently. According to them, that's a video game. That's what they say. There we go. They thought it was going to be a fate accomplishment by the time the community knew it was happening. Yeah. This is why people become liches. Exactly. So yeah, this is a cool little module though. This is not available on Foundry. I built this out, but it's fun because it's kind of a neat thing where there's like you have to deal with like oxygen in the room. And I animated this. So like as they go through, they're running out of oxygen, and different things like these flames and stuff will cause the oxygen to deplete faster, and they have to get through before it runs out. Is Lich copyright from Wizards of the Coast? I don't think Lich is copyright. No, I don't think so. I have to look in the SRD. Hold on, I have the SRD open actually. Let's see, Lich. No, Lich is in the SRD. I mean, it's not under the monsters aren't under Creative Commons, but anything in the SRD is pretty much like they can't copyright it, right? Like they can't own Lich. That's not a thing they can own. Yeah, like they can own Beholder, and they can own Tasha. Like they can't even own Hideous Laughter, but they can own Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And every time I say Tasha's, I have to pay them royalties. Yeah, I can't remember. It's cool though. I was looking at the Creative Commons stuff, and seeing like what actually they put in there. So it's basically they skip like race and class, and they go right into I think background is going to be in Creative Commons. I mean, there's like the concept of background, and then the one background I think that they have in there is Creative Commons, and then like all the combat rules and all that were Creative Commons, like advantage, disadvantage, all that's fine, but then they skip over like all the magic items, the regular equipment, the base equipment's all goes into that Creative Commons. The magic items are not, and the spells are not. So there's like 3 sections of the book that are going to fall into Creative Commons. Assuming that's still the plan that they go through with. Honestly, just keep OGL 1.0a and this is all fine. Like, that's all you have to do. Just keep OGL 1.0a. Done. Done. That easy. I solved the problem for you, Wizards. You everybody will be happy. You'll have better PR and probably make more money if you just leave it alone. Done. I will only charge you $1 million in consulting fees for that. So yeah, this is that's my Foundry stuff. We didn't even really get to look at the Pathfinder 2 stuff. I can pull it back up if you guys want, or we can look at other books. I don't care. What do you guys want to see? You tell me. It's your stream. I don't know if Chris or Kaywood's still here. Lich definitely not copyrighted. Okay, very few monsters are. Yeah, like I said, like named monsters are, right? Like Illithid are and Beholders are, but most monsters come from mythology, so they really can't be like the stat block. The stat block can be copyrighted, but the monster can't be. It's like not even really the stat block so much as the expression of the stat block, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Personally, I think that if we just keep 1.0a, everybody wins. Literally everybody wins. Yeah, I know. That's right. He did have to put his kids to bed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but it's like, can you really copyright? I mean, here's the deal. If you look at what they're talking about putting in Creative Commons, like Strength, Dex, Con, Wiz, and Charisma are all part of Creative Commons, so you should be able to do that part of the stat block just fine. But maybe like the specific abilities that the WotC Lich has, like if you gave them slightly different abilities, or even the same abilities but renamed them and reworded them, would that be okay? Like, can they copyright the format of the stat block? So if I change the formatting of the stat block, it made it look different than your standard 5e stat block, is that okay? I don't know. Like, I don't know the answers to that. That's what's weird. That's what was so great about the OGL, was that you just didn't have to worry about it. It was just this agreement that, yeah, we're all good. Just make your stuff, make it compatible with our game. More people will play our game, and everybody wins. Lich as an undead wizard is from a book, but I'm pretty sure the word originated as corpse in some language. I think Gaelic, quite possibly. You'll make Vecna, but call him Vance. Yeah, that works. The terms might still get you in trouble. We've rewritten everything. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's almost like too soon to even rewrite stuff. Like, could we still win this fight? Like, could they finally just back down and say, fine, we're going to leave 1.0a alone? And that's the thing. Even if they don't leave 1.0a alone, isn't Paizo going to take them to court and kick their ass on that? Because there's no way they win that court case. So like worst case scenario, or worst best case scenario is they're forced to leave 1.0 A alone, but only everything up to 5e falls under that, and 6e and beyond goes to 2.0 OGL or GSL 2.0, whatever they're going to call the ridiculous thing they want to write, and the third party community just abandons 6e and everybody just keeps going 5e. Black Flag comes out, becomes the new essentially Pathfinder. It becomes D&D 5.5, and we all move on under Orc with that, and everybody's happy, except for WotC, who lost half their customer base because they're stupid. Well, what they need to do, Mike, honestly, like the best thing they can do from a PR standpoint is to make 1.0 B and just add the word irrevocable in there. Like all they have to do is leave it alone, except for saying we can't revoke this ever, and we will never revoke it. Just add that in and leave it alone. And if they were really, really smart, they really wanted to earn back some trust, they released SRD 5.2, which is an update to 5.1 that includes the Artificer and maybe a couple other little updates. Like if they did that, if they said here's 1.0b, it's now defined as irrevocable, and it also covers SRD 5.2, which includes the Artificer, I'd be like, all right, I'll come back. Like that would make me happy. At that point, I'd be like, all right. I haven't forgiven you, but the healing process has started. Like that would be a huge step in the right direction. There are some who called me Tim. But it's backwards compatible. They've backed themselves into a corner. I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I feel like there's this whole thing nowadays where people can't admit to being wrong, so they just double down and double down and double down till they're so deep in the hole that they don't know how to get out of it. So they just stick to their guns no matter how ridiculous it is. Like that's become a thing in recent years. I mean, I think it's always been a thing, but it's become a bigger thing where people they're like, yeah, we were probably wrong about that, but I'm not going to admit it. I'm just going to double down on this. And it just gets so out of control. Also, they included all the base subclasses, the stuff from Tasha's and Xanathar's. I mean, I get why they don't include all the subclass in the SRD. I'm fine with a single subclass for each class. That's fine. You don't need more than that for the SRD. The SRD as it is, with as long as you have base classes in there, publishers can create their own subclasses, and that's all that really matters. You don't need to have every subclass of a cleric available for WotC in the SRD. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As long as the base classes are there with a single subclass, so the structure of it and all that is there, people can create new ones, and I think that's what matters the most. Like I said, I would just want to see Artificer in there because I want to see Cobalt Press make some Artificers. Like I want to see their subclasses for that. They need to put the OGL and SRD in non-profit third party like it's being done with Orc. I agree 100%. That would be the other step, right? Create 1.0b, create SRD 5.2, and put it under 1.0b, and then throw it into a non-profit. That right there, that I think that would go. I mean, I'm not a publisher. I want to be one, but maybe Kaywood Publishing here as a publisher can speak more to it than I can. But to me, that would go a long way to showing some good faith and mending some bridges. That's how I feel. That you do those things, and we can talk, because now I would feel comfortable publishing again. But you're right. The thing is, if 1.0b making it irrevocable, would make me feel a lot better. But yet I still wouldn't trust them to try to deauthorize or do something crazy with it at some other point. Put it into a nonprofit, I think it would be a great idea. Or they could just sign Orc and get rid of the OGL and sign Orc. Vecna is an anagram for Vance. It's a nod to Jack Vance Gygax, pulled from Vance's novel about magic. I read that somewhere. That is a story I know I've read. Yeah, I would agree with this statement 100%. Especially Cynthia. She can go. Um, how we doing? Make sure you guys hit the like button, man. We had like 67 views and only 9 likes. Click the like button. Help me out. Gets more people to come see the stream too. Like the more likes we get, YouTube starts bumping it in the list and other people will show up. Gotta grow this channel. I want to do more of this. Like I said, I want to try to do maybe Tuesdays and Fridays. I think would be a great schedule. I was going to actually record my podcast today, which, by the way, if you didn't know, episode 1 of That Midgard Show is out. It's on YouTube now. If you search That Midgard Show, it'll come up. So that's me and my friend Clayton talking Midgard lore. So episode 1 goes over the 7 secrets of Midgard. So we talk a little bit about the history of Kobold Press, Wolfgang, the basics of Midgard as a world. And then episode 2, which will premiere on Friday, we start talking about Zobek. We'll start off with the history of Zobek, and kind of go into its origins and its past. And then episode 3, we'll start talking about modern Zobek and some of its districts. We'll probably end up doing maybe, I would say, 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes on Zobek is the plan. Because there's a lot to Zobek. And then we'll start branching out into other regions. So we're going to go through the whole Midgard World book, and then we'll go through the Southlands book. We're going to hit up on adventures and stuff like that. I mean, there should be plenty of content to cover. And even when we get into regions, we'll probably, even those might end up taking more than 1 episode to do. I would imagine the Wasted West will take a couple. When we get into the 7 cities and things like that, that'll probably take quite a bit. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. So much content ahead. So, and I'm really enjoying making it. It's fun to just sit there and talk about a setting like that you enjoy. It's a good time. So yeah, check out That Midgard Show. See if I can pull up a link for you guys. That Midgard Show. Here it is. Share and copy. There's the link to episode 1 of That Midgard Show. All right. Well, it is getting late, guys. I'm going to go do some parenting kind of stuff, I think. Get my kids to bed and get ready for another day tomorrow. I got a game on Thursday night, and then I think Friday maybe we'll do another live stream if that sounds good to you guys. Then we can do some more stuff. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. And I'll see you all next time.